go right to the customer onboarding scenario. So before I hand this off to Ryan, let me quickly tell what's going to happen in the demonstration. So I have a customer here, and the customer is going to fill out an e-form online. From this e-form online they fill out, I then have someone within my airline who is an onboarding representative who will confirm the information and changes the status for review. The client then receives a text message, all the while making sure they know what is happening with their client onboarding experience with the airline. I have someone further back in the airline who is a caseworker who then obtains both the financial approval for them to become a customer along with the security approval. Someone from the TSA has to evaluate that they are a shipper who is known as a known shipper because of security concerns around the shipping of air cargo. Finally, upon that approval, the customer will receive an email which they will digitally sign. Once they digitally sign it, they receive an email welcoming them to their online portal to do, which is what they intended in the first place, which is to ship packages with my airline. Now, all the while, what I just described was simple enough, but what has to happen behind the scenes is we brought together almost a dozen of these content services from... Now, within this demonstration, we have 3 fictional characters. We have Nicolette as the customer, we have Leah the onboarding rep, and of course, who wouldn't be a caseworker if your name wasn't Casey? So as we transition here into the demonstration, it's worth noting that this demonstration is live, that there is no smoke and mirrors. This is all live stuff. That it took us all of one person working about 30 hours to create this from end to end. And actually, a good portion of that 30 hours was actually used in creating the content materials in the demonstration, not necessarily the technology. And then finally, within what we did, there was no cost or provisioning time with any of the components to make this happen for this demonstration. So that being said, I will hand it over to Ryan.
Fantastic, thank you. Thanks for the introduction. So everyone, I'm Ryan Lott. I'm the CEO and founder of Neocol. I'll be taking you through this demonstration today. So we have an organization here, Smarter Air Cargo, and in this scenario here, I'm logging in as Nicolette, and I would like to apply to ship some goods with Smarter Air Cargo. So on their website, there's an area where I can apply. This here is bringing up an e-form for the individual to complete. So I will quickly go ahead and complete this e-form while we're here. And just while I'm going through and completing this, just to kind of echo what Lane said there, that this onboarding process here that we're seeing is something that we've done for many years across different organizations, across multiple sectors. And for me, what's very exciting is we're now able to, rather than talking 6, 12, 18 months to get a solution, get the products in place and build out a solution, we're able to do this in a shorter period very quickly. As Tom mentioned, this was about 30 hours work to set up this demonstration. So it's great for prototyping and also building out live solutions in a flexible and nimble manner. So, okay, I have a form here that's been completed. I'm now going to go ahead and submit this form. A couple of tick boxes to say I agree, and I'll go ahead and submit the form. So now from the Smarter Air Cargo site, someone who wants to ship information across, I've now been able to come in here and complete this form. So what I'll do is I now have Leah here, a profile for Leah, who's using Salesforce as a system to manage new leads coming in. So if I go ahead and refresh, here we can see that there's a new lead that's come in here for Leah to deal with from Nicolette Smart. So at this stage, what we've done is we have mapped across the information that was completed on the electronic form into this lead here. And importantly, what we have under the Documents tab here is a PDF version of the form that was completed. And this is important in this particular scenario here and I think as Lane mentioned really, the documents and content are becoming artifacts. And we have a lot of the information in the lead record, but from an audit perspective, we have a copy here of the form that was completed. And in this scenario, the TSA will come back to organizations and ask to see completion of forms. So it's there from an audit perspective. We can have governance and management around this. So we're pulling this document here back seamlessly from Box, from the user. So at this stage, Leah decides that they want to do business with the organization, Neo Packaging and Nicolette Smart. So we're going to go ahead and convert this into an account using the standard Salesforce functionality. We create an account. And this is going to do a couple of things for us. So if I now look in my accounts tab, I have an account created for Neo Packaging, and you'll see that the status here is awaiting TSA approval. So if I'm to switch over to being Casey now, who, as Tom pointed out, is our case worker, and to refresh the queue here for Casey, we'll see that there's now been a case created. So Casey's role is really purely just coming in and reacting to these cases. So here, if we open this up, you'll notice straight away that the form here is being loaded up. It's coming directly from Box. So Casey can see all the information again that's been submitted. We have some further details, and we also have some case documents. So at this stage, if relating to this particular case, if there's some approval notifications or emails or comments or documents that Casey wants to source in this case, we can go ahead and do that. So I'm just going to click upload here and go ahead and upload a couple of documents here. So I can just drag and drop those into the case. You'll notice they're here. I can go ahead and upload those. Okay, so if I close this out, you can now see that within this particular case, we have a couple of documents. We have a certificate here from the TSA saying that they're happy for Neo Packaging to go ahead and send and ship cargo in the United States. There's another document here, which is a letter from the TSA as well. So these are artifacts relating to this specific case, which are being pulled back and stored within Box, specifically related to this case. And to show you what's interesting here, if I log in as Leah, again, go back to Leah. Leah can see that there's a case currently awaiting approval and click in here. But Leah is only able to see the application form. So any of the documents, etc., relating to the case, the security has been set up in a way that Leah is not able to pull back that content from Box. So if I just switch back over now to Casey, I just wanted to show that point. We can go ahead. Casey's spoken to the TSA, and at this stage is going to approve the individual here to go ahead on this case. Okay, so we've gone ahead, approved that. So if I now log in as Leah and switch over to look at the accounts and bring up our Neo Packaging account, we can now see that the status of this account has changed into awaiting customer signature. So at this stage, we now have, if I log back in as a customer over here and log into my email, just refresh my email. Bear with me. Okay, so Microsoft has called up me here now. So I now have the email that's come in here, which is a contract awaiting signature. So I will click here to come and review this document. You'll see we're using DocuSign at this stage. I have a contract that's been created. It's taken the information from the Salesforce record, so information about the company, the address in here. We have all of this information. I can now go ahead down the bottom here and as Nicolette, go ahead and sign this document. So agree to the contract and click finish. Okay. So at this stage, we've gone through the onboarding process. We've had a new lead come in. We've checked with the TSA that they're happy for this company to ship cargo. We've then sent out a contract to the customer that's going to be signed. So they've now onboarded as a customer. So if we log back into our system of record here as Leah, and we come to our accounts, we take the new packaging, we can see the status has now changed to a confirmed customer. So we can go ahead and start doing business with this customer. So if we go into the customer record here, at this stage, we've actually sent a text message across to Nicolette to inform Nicolette that the company is now onboarded. We've also sent an email saying, welcome to Smarter Air Cargo. At this stage, we have a link to go and set up a username and password to access the cargo portal. So if I set up password here, that will take us back to the Smarter Air Cargo site where we have a login option. We can now log in. Okay, so we've now logged into the portal as a user, and here we can do a number of things. We can go into the accounting section and view invoices that have been generated. We can go ahead and generate new shipping requests, and just simply here from a demonstration perspective to show you how, once again, we're pulling back all this information stored centrally within Box. Here, if the user wants to see a copy of their signed contract, they can come in and pull up that same version of the signed contract that was stored here in Box, which is the same document that if the rep was to log in here as Leah and I look at the document here, I can also see the same version of the signed contract. So we're storing content in the Box repository and pulling it back from multiple places here. Okay, so that wraps up the demonstration. As we mentioned, as Tom mentioned, we're using multiple different services here throughout. So we've highlighted the types of technology that we're using. So we had the client portal, we had a web form that Nicolette initially completed, we have the generation of the PDF document, which was the artifact, we had emails being sent out, we had text messages being sent to the customer, we had an electronic signature. All of this was being orchestrated by process orchestration, and throughout it we were storing and generating content in our cloud content management system, and the users were working out of a CRM and case management system as well. So here you can see that to actually build out this solution, we have multiple services, so microservices. And I think, again, from my perspective, what is really interesting and exciting about where we are in the world now with technology compared to where we have been the last 15 years implementing these solutions as Neocol is we would have previously had to implement a large solution from the likes of an IBM case manager or Documentum system to look to try and meet all of these needs in that demonstration system that you've seen there. Whereas now everything is componentized, so we can say, okay, I want to add in text messaging. Actually, I want to send a text message at this particular stage in the process. We're talking literally going in within a couple of minutes, changing the business process to say, I want to send a text message actually when we kick off the process, or I want to send one at the end of the process. And you can add in and remove these components as needed. So say, for example, we actually have documentation coming in by email, fax, or paper throughout the process. If we need to add in a component such as Ethersoft to go and capture that information and pull that into the business process, we can quickly do that. So you can add and remove components quickly. And what we're seeing, our customers are really excited because they can be nimble and agile and pivot and make changes in their business within days and weeks, as opposed to spending 2 years implementing a system and then not wanting to change that system because it took you 2 years to get up and running. We're literally talking days to go in and make a business change.